गुड इवनिंग, शुभ संध्या। मैं विपुल, आपका दोस्त, आपका सहयोगी, आपका व्यवसायिक सलाहकार डेली न्यूज अपडेट में आपका स्वागत करता हूं। आज नवरात्रा की शुरुआत है, तो नवरात्रा और दशहरा की आपको हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। सत्यमेव जयते, सत्यम वद धर्मचर्या। Let's start news updates on the income tax, GST and corporate laws. Let's start from the income tax. Karnataka High Court interest on the refund computed after 1st April 1989 to be in accordance with section 244A through it relates prior assessment year. In this judgment, Karnataka High Court held that by Direct Tax Law Amendment Act 1987, Section 244A was inserted with effect from 1st April 1989 and was made applicable for assessment year 1989 and 90 onwards. Hence, if interest on any excess advance tax paid in a financial year has to be computed after 1st April 1989, same has to be computed in accordance with the section 244A. Only an assessee would be entitled to interest in terms of section 244A only. Hence, when an order of the refund is issued, same should include interest payable on amount which is refunded. If refund does not include interest due payable on amount refunded, revenue would be liable to pay interest on shortfall. Second case, Indore Tribunal, ITAT remanded matter back as there was no material to substantiate that CIT had conducted inquiry. In this case, CIT assumption has rejected application purely on the ground that certain payment on account of the salary, vehicle rent and house rent were made by the assessee society to a specified person in violation of section 13, since there was no material on record to suggest that CIT made inquiry regarding said payment, matter be restored to file of the CIT assumption. CBDT issued press release on the 15th October. In this press release, the information Tax Department carries out search action on leading advocates who took more than 217 crore in cash from clients. In this press release, the Income Tax Department has carried out search and seizure action on a leading advocate practicing in the field of the commercial arbitration and alternate dispute resolution. Assessee had received 117 crore in cash, while only 21 crore was recorded in books. In another case, he received more than 100 crores in cash from an infrastructure and engineering company for its arbitration proceeding with a public sector company. Next case, Madras High Court, no section 263 revision just because guideline value of the property was higher than sales consideration. While in limited scrutiny with the regard to the purchase of the property by assessee, assessing officer, after hearing assessee and verifying source of the fund, made additional, but commissioner revised said order on the ground that guideline value of the said property at relevant time was higher than sale consideration reflected in the registered document. Since guidelines value is only an indicator and same is fixed by the state government for purpose of calculating a stamp duty on a deal of the conveyance, invoking section 263 not sustainable. Means no section 263 revision just because guideline value of the property was higher than the sale consideration. Next case, Bombay High Court, no infirmity if lower authority concurrently held that sum spent on the mining lease was sent for acquisition of the right, where both commissioner appeals as well as the tribunal concurrently held that the material on record indicated that amount paid by assessee to mining lessee was not towards acquisition of the right in mine, but was basically towards expenditure undertaken by the said leases for the purpose of development like roads and trenches, temporary hard drilling, etc., and thus held that provision of section 35E was applicable to case of the assessee since there was no varsity found in impound order of the lower authority, same was to be upheld. Cuttack Tribunal, CIT appeal cannot admit additional evidence without obtaining comments from assessing officer, where the Commissioner appeals admitted that the additional evidence enclosure submitted by an assessee without confronting same to the assessing officer and without obtaining comments remand from the assessing officer on said additional evidence and deleted an addition under section 68 made to the assessee income on basis of such evidence, impact order of the deleting addition on basis of such additional evidence was unjustified. Let's cover news on the international taxation. Bangalore Tribunal matter remanded as the issue required examination of the facts to teach some paid for the architectural design services as the case from the technical services. Matter remanded as issue required further examination of the facts and in respect of the services rendered by the Singapore-based entity to assess it, since assessing officer was of the opinion that services were in nature of the FTS but did not give any specific findings. Next case, transfer pricing. Madras High Court risk adjustment while determining arm length price is to be computed on company to company basis considering level of the risk. In this case, if from available data of the comparable company, result of for financial year can be reasonably based extrapolated, then said company cannot be excluded from the comparable list on ground of having different accounting year. Risk adjustment could be given only on company to company basis, considering the level of the risk involved between the assessee and comparable companies. Next case, Delhi Tribunal in transfer pricing cases. Assessing officer couldn't question availment of the services from the associated enterprises if assessee duly provided evidence. Where the assessee was availing a specialized services which were provided by the associated enterprise from common proof pool and evidence in this regard had been filed by the assessee, there was no merit in order of the assessing officer in questioning availment of the services and benefit derived by the assessee. Let's cover updates on GST. Delhi High Court. Delhi High Court in a ruling held that state interest and permitted to pay prohibited amount in 6 monthly installment due to COVID-19 pandemic. These are generally practiced by the department or court insisted to give some deferment of the payment in interest on a penalty amount. Petitioner Samsung India, having been held guilty of the profiteering to tune of the 37.85 lakhs during the period 1st January 2019 to 31st March 2019, was to be allowed to deposit principal profited amount in 6 equated installment and interest amount was be also stayed. CBIC notification number 79. Issued on the 15th October, a small taxpayer not required to furnish a reconciliation statement, that is in form GST R9C for financial year 2019-20 as well. The government has relaxed the requirement to furnish a copy of the audited annual accounts and a reconciliation statement in form GST R9C for the financial year 1920 for every registered person having aggregate turnover of up to 5 crore. Earlier, this relaxation was only for the financial year 2018-19, which has also been extended for financial year 2019-20. Next notification 78. Government mandate assessment code for all classes of the taxpayer with effect from the 1st April 2021. The requirement to furnish HSN code in tax invoice has been revised with effect from 1st April 2021. The small taxpayer having aggregate turnover in preceding financial year up to 5 crore shall furnish 4-digit HSN code, and in case of the larger taxpayer having turnover more than 5 crore, 6-digit HSN code shall be required to be furnished on supplies made to the unregistered person. A small taxpayer may not require to mention HSN code on invoice issued by it. Next notification, 77, furnishing of the annual return GSTR 9 made optional for a small taxpayer even for the financial year 2019-20. The furnishing of the annual return in the form GSTR 9 has been made optional for the financial year 1920 for the small taxpayer whose aggregate turnover in a financial year does not exceed 2 crore. Earlier, this benefit was provided for the financial year 2017-18 and financial year 2017-18, which has now been extended for the financial year 2019-20 as well. Next notification, 76, due date of the furnishing GSTR 3B has been prescribed for the period to October 2020 to March 2021. The due date to file GSTR 3B by registered person has been prescribed for each of the month from the October 2020 to March 2021, which shall be 20th day of the month succeeding such month. A small taxpayer having aggregate turnover up to 5 crore in the previous financial year in a specified category of the state shall furnish GSTR 3B on or before 22nd or 24th day of the next succeeding month, as the case may be, prescribed for the different state. CBIC notification 75 dated 15th October, due date of furnishing prescribed to furnish GSTR 1 for monthly filers for the period October 20 to March 21. The due date to furnish GSTR 1 by registered person having aggregate turnover of more than 1.5 crore in the preceding financial year, current financial year, has been prescribed for month of the October 2020 to March 2021 and shall be 11th of the next succeeding month. 74, notification number 74, new due dates prescribed for furnishing GSTR 1 for quarterly return filers. The due date of to furnish GSTR 1 by registered person having aggregate turnover of up to 1.5 crore in the preceding financial year or current financial year for the quarter October to December 2020 shall be 13th January 2021, and for the quarter January to March 2021 shall be 13th April 2021. AAR Karnataka, renting of the e-bikes, bicycle without operator is classifiable under heading 99669, Karnataka Advanced Authority ruling. Let's cover updates on the company law. NCL 80, mayor adding an additional signatory to a bank account cannot be claimed to be an act of operation. Appointment of an additional director in absence of a minority shareholder does not amount to operation and mismanagement under Companies Act, and further merely adding on additional signatory to a bank account cannot be claimed to be an act of operation. Hence, where petitioner minority shareholder of a company failed to make out case that affairs of the company were conducted in a manner prejudicial or oppressive to petitioner or to company, operation and mismanagement petition filed by them was to be dismissed. Thank you so much for watching News Desk on the income tax, GST and corporate laws. Please share among the professional fraternity, lawyers, chartered accountant, company secretary, cost accountant, and other professional who is interested and practicing in the area of the GST, income tax, international taxation, transfer pricing, corporate laws. Then you may share my updates. These updates are on a daily basis. Almost after one gap of the 1 day, or otherwise it's a daily basis. So thank you so much for watching news days on the international income tax, GST and corporate law. We are trying to cover other laws, international taxation, transfer pricing, FEMA, FCRA and other allied laws, so that all updation on court ruling, updation, circular notification guidelines are getting all updates on the same day or next day. So please subscribe our channel for regular update. Thank you so much.